Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join for this webinar series. My name is Eric Waldo. I'm the Executive Director of First Lady Michelle Obama's Reach Higher initiative. I used to run that initiative out of the White House, and now I work over at Civic Nation, the nonprofit affiliated with Mrs. Obama here in Washington, D.C. And I just want to say, before we get started, thank you to the American School Council Association. ASCA has been such a phenomenal partner to Mrs. Obama during her time at the White House, and we're so thrilled that they're continuing to support Mrs. Obama and her efforts around college access. So I'm excited to tell you about some of the work that we're going to continue to be doing here at Civic Nation with Mrs. Obama. And today we want to talk about how we want to continue to celebrate College Signing Day. So I'll just get into it. What you'll get out of this webinar today, I want to make sure that as much as possible we want at the end of this webinar you folks to be able to know how you might go about hosting a College Signing Day at your school or in your larger community. We want to let you know more about College Signing Day in general and how Reach Higher and Better Make Room initiatives teams are working together, and really want you to know about how you can stay involved with Mrs. Obama's college completion efforts. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open us to the College Signing Day kit. We'll be walking through this right now. What I do want to let you know is that we'll be making this available on bettermakeroom.org. That's bettermakeroom.org, and you can download this College Signing Day kit. And I'll also be giving you some details about how you can share more about any College Signing Day activities that you plan in your communities. So, College Signing Day. For many of you, this is old hat. We've been celebrating with Mrs. Obama for the past 3 years. And as you all know, May 1st is the day by which high school seniors need to let colleges know where they plan to attend. This is taken after the NCAA signing day, which happens usually, I think, in January or February, which is meant to celebrate, where a student says they're going to go play college basketball, college football, college athletics. And some educators thought, we should be celebrating students for making the academic decision, the college-going decision, just as big as we celebrate the athletic decision. And so around the country, folks have been celebrating College Signing Day. And in fact, Mrs. Obama began Reach Higher at a College Signing Day rally in San Antonio, Texas. Since then, we celebrated one in Detroit, and last year we celebrated in New York City. So we're really excited about the idea of schools, communities coming together to celebrate the fact that the seniors are all pursuing some sort of post-secondary education, and College Signing Day is an opportunity to do that. This year, Mrs. Obama and our team will be celebrating College Signing Day on May 5th. We realize that for different communities, whether it's reserving a bigger auditorium if you're in a large community and you need a bigger space, or if it's figuring out how you're decompleting AP exams, that date's going to change. Some people are going to do it on May 1st. We actually already know some that will happen at the end of April. And we also know that some are going to go even into the beginning of June. But we are going to celebrate ours on May 5th and encourage you to celebrate that week or that day if you're able to with us as well. So here's what you've got inside of this program. We have a message from Mrs. Obama. We describe the issue. We talk about the partnership, how you can get involved, and also not just at the high school level. We know we have plenty of elementary and middle school counselors on the line. We want to make sure that all of you understand that there are ways to create college-going culture in your communities as well, even if you don't think of yourself as teaching or supporting high school-age students. So again, we want you to be able to use this kit because it's possible that your principal, your teachers, your school is not familiar with College Signing Day, and we want to make sure that you know that Mrs. Obama is supporting this. This is a letter from Mrs. Obama. We have her little signature there. You can see her and President Obama in their college gear. One of the traditions and one of the fun ways to celebrate College Signing Day is that schools will often use it as a dress-down day. Seniors will get to wear some college gear from the school they plan to attend. Faculty, administrators, and others will wear the shirt where they went to college or colleges that they support or community members that they support. At the White House, we used to use it as a dress-down day for all the White House to wear their college gear, and actually the entire administration. And it's a fun way to show college pride, and that's where you'll sort of see some other pictures of folks taking that selfie, posting that picture in their college gear, just sort of create something fun and celebratory about college-going culture. This is a message from Mrs. Obama. If you click the hyperlink, we won't do it right now, but it's a message from Mrs. Obama congratulating students on College Signing Day. You can certainly use that in your show or production, and we want to make sure that you have some assets as you're trying to pursue and make this a fun event. So the College Challenge, and this is something that all of you, if you work in college and career readiness, know that making sure that young people have an opportunity to pursue and complete a post-secondary education has been a critical message from the Obama White House and will continue to be a message from the former President Barack and Michelle Obama. And that's really because we know that to be competitive in the 21st century knowledge-based economy, global marketplace, some education past high school has to be the goal. And when we say college, we actually have a pretty broad definition. We need a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, community college, an industry-recognized certificate or credential, but just some education past high school is the goal. And also, I will say it here because oftentimes we get this question about signing day. Are we also honoring trade schools? Are we honoring students who are going on to the military? Absolutely. At college signing day events around the country, there are schools and communities that use that as an opportunity to celebrate not just folks who are going to 4-year, but to 2-year, to trade schools, to to the military. And so you should try to make a celebration that is inclusive as possible. But to be explicit, the notion here is that if we want to continue to lead the world the same way we did in the 20th century economy, we need to make sure we have the most educated workforce. And we know that a post-secondary education is the best way to help people enter and maintain and really thrive in the middle class. So college signing day is one part of helping build that college-going culture. So the president had set the goal that we want to lead the world again in terms of post-secondary degrees by the year 2020. And to get to that goal, we still have to keep working hard to get more young people to reach higher for college. So that's really sort of the why of why we do things to try to lift up college going and the importance of a post-secondary education. So Reach Higher, Better Make Room, just for those of you who may not be familiar, Mrs. Obama launched Reach Higher in 2014 as her new initiative out of the White House. She'd previously been working on military-connected families with joining forces, trying to end childhood obesity with her Let's Move initiative, and Reach Higher became her new domestic education agenda, really talking to young people about the importance of college. And I like to tell people you can think of the First Lady as the school counselor in chief. She herself is a first-generation college graduate, so she saw the difference that going to college made in her life. She grew up in a family where neither of her parents went to college, but saw that getting a great education was going to be important. And even in college, talked about the struggle she had as a first-generation student. So she's been out there using her political capital, using her bully pulpit to try to get young people excited about education. And out of Reach Higher, we launched a campaign called Better Make Room because we realized that while it's really critical for adults to be calling for this change, we also need a groundswell, grassroots movement from students. So Better Make Room is really a platform where we try to use digital influencers, digital media, and ways for young people to actually have a platform online where they can talk to each other and create a sense of immediacy about the importance of going to college. Literally, it means you better make room for me, for this next generation of young people, because we're going to change the world. So we're trying to change that culture of selfies and pictures of food or whatever you see young people doing with their digital phones, with their devices. Want to make it a place where they can also celebrate education, talk about what they want to do and how an education might help them. We've got text messaging tools and other campaigns through Better Make Room. We're trying to get young people where they are using digital devices and speaking in their vernacular about the importance of education. So we're really excited about the Better Make Room campaign and what it's doing to get young people excited about education. So just want to show you some examples of what college signing day has looked like. Now, again, this is what Mrs. Obama's done. We are just showing you sort of the Cadillac version. Was our last event for her for college signing day at the White House, and we wanted to blow it up. So we held a rally in New York City in Harlem. MTV helped sponsor us. We had dozens of celebrities who came out to talk to young people about the importance of college. And the really exciting thing is we had over 1,200 events, and we had actually high schools participating in all 50 states. We even had some international ones. So we're excited about having a day of action where young people can be posting online. Alums and graduates can talk about education. As I mentioned, we had everyone sort of, wearing their college gear if they could, or a college that they were supporting, post that selfie with the hashtag Reach Higher, hashtag College Signing Day, and really give that lift, let that be a trending moment on Twitter, on Instagram, so young people can see, wow, that's pretty fun, and I want to get there too. Again, as I mentioned, part of the goal here is to make this not just about what's happening in your individual school, but help people feel like they're part of a national movement. So having 50 states participate, having over 1,200 events, our goal here is to do even more this year. So If you don't have a college signing day in your school, if you don't have it in your city, this is your chance to think about how you want to participate this year. So again, these are some examples of rallies and events happening in communities around the country. And then, of course, we want them to take credit for it. That we want them to let us know about it, posting it on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, making sure that there's a chance to celebrate your students, to celebrate their successes. So now we're talking about how can you get involved. The really exciting thing is this toolkit that we have and is going to be on bettermakeroom.org. It's actually up right now. We just had a redesign of our site. So if you go to bettermakeroom.org, and I believe if you click on the tools site and scroll down, you will find the College Signing Day Kit. You'll also find an opportunity for you to let us know about your event. This is critically important. We want to know if you're hosting one, where you're hosting one, whether it's a 50-person event or a 5,000-person event. We want to know about it, both because we want to give you credit and help track it, also because we want to possibly help you find a celebrity, a surrogate, and actually Mrs. Obama has not yet selected where she wants to go. So we want to give you guys a chance to possibly land her for your event. So we hope you'll go down and download that guide at bettermakeroom.org. Obviously, for those of you who've done it before, or those of you for whom it may be your first time, you'll know that getting students to help you plan this, getting faculty, getting the community involved is really critical to make this a success, because we think that this should be about community building and about celebrating students. Well, I think of this as a pep rally. We've seen schools do it at an assembly where all the seniors get to come up on stage and lift up that college hat or put on a T-shirt or get to chant their college cry. We've had events and rallies where folks read a pledge from the community about not just that they're excited to go to college, but they're going to work hard and complete. When Mrs. Obama went to San Antonio, they did that, and there are all sorts of fun ways. But if you get students to plan this, you get community members to plan with you, you're going to have much more success. As we mentioned, Monday is the day. Monday, May 1st is the actual deadline. So I want to make sure folks understand that we're not saying that the deadline isn't May 1st. We understand that that's the deadline, but communities are going to be able to celebrate what best works for their schedules anytime between mid-April to early June. Again, we'll be celebrating on May 5th. So this is a great opportunity that is new this year. We know that many times, it's especially smaller level events, folks have to fund it themselves, or they're looking for community partners to help them do it, whether it's local businesses, local nonprofits, local athletic organizations. This year, DonorsChoose is actually partnering with Reach Higher and Better Make Room and DonorsChoose and the College Football Playoff Association, and we will actually be able to give out $500 grant awards to over 200 events happening around the country. But we have to know about your event. So in addition to signing up on bettermakeroom.org, to be in the running to receive this money, you need to follow the steps that are listed below. Really, 1 and 2 are key. You've got to go to DonorsChoose to create that account. You've got to create a project and really be explicit about how you're going to use that money to support College Signing Day. And once you do, 200 lucky events will be then notified by our team, and then we'll be able to give you a special code so that you will be able to get that $500 donation to use it for your event. So again, really excited to partner with DonorsChoose and the College Football Playoff Association. Again, we think that it's fun to celebrate this and that we want to be able to help you fund that on your own. So in addition to this money, we know, and as I mentioned, that you might need additional funding from community partners, and we are going to have a sponsorship outreach letter on bettermakeroom.org that you can download that might be able to help you as you ask local businesses and corporations to sponsor your College Signing Day if you need additional funds. In addition, we're going to have a link to our Zazzle store where you can use sponsorship money to order College Signing Day T-shirts, buttons, stickers, anything you might want for your rally if we can be helpful. And one of the things I will say in terms of the where, we recognize that College Signing Day comes in all shapes and sizes given your community, your school, and your students. And it doesn't have to be at a fancy gym or a fancy auditorium or at a giant stadium. We recognize that sometimes it's a great counselor making sure that their students know that they can dress down that day, or they can give them an ice cream party, or just have a moment in assembly to recognize them. It's not always going to be a 2-hour assembly or rally, but we do think it's important for you guys to get this moment to have an opportunity to celebrate and to be creative and think about ways that you want to do that. So I encourage you to think about how you want to do it. So, the other thing to think about here is that we've seen success in college signing days where it's not just about the school, it's also about the community. So whether it's a local education nonprofit, the school district, you can make this a more inclusive event if you wish to. And it's important to think about bringing in local elected officials, athletes, local celebrities, bringing in, if you have a college nearby, bring in, alums from your school, bring in a college dance troupe or a step program that can come and show students that college isn't just more tests and more studying. It's also a pretty fun experience that will provide students an opportunity to really fulfill themselves. So again, we want you to think about how you can get folks there, to cover it, to talk about it, and to make it as fun as possible for the students participating. So really, lastly, this is a celebration. Again, as I've mentioned a couple of times now, we think wearing your college gear to that event is critical. Asking community members to do so is the same, even if they didn't go to college. One they love, maybe one a family, a sibling, a neighbor has gone to. I think this is actually one of the fun parts of college signing day is students will realize, oh, Mr. Hancock, I didn't realize that you went to Ohio State, or, Mrs. Schwartz, I didn't know that you'd gone to UCLA. I'm thinking about that. And I think college signing day, when you see people posting the pictures in their college gear, it gives them a chance to show pride in their school, and it invites the conversation about college and invites a relationship where people may not have seen that leader, that person in the school, as someone who might be able to be a source of information for them about college. But when we have this moment to share a little bit more about ourselves, it's a fun way to build school spirit, community spirit, and college-going spirit. So we do think that photo booths are fun. We've done them at our college signing days. And again, we want to make sure that this is a way for students to really go online and take a little pride in the fact that they're all going to go to college. So we can provide you with some signs that you can download to print on bettermakeroom.org, but we do think having a college signing day photo booth is a fun way to get involved. You can get your high school art department to help you backdrops or props, whether it's a diploma or a handheld sign with a hashtag, something fun for people to have and have some fun with that photo booth. So in short, what next steps for all of you is, and many of you are already well ahead of this, have been planning your college signing event for weeks, if not months. We really want you to go online to bettermakeroom.org and fill out that speaker request form. Again, it's at bettermakeroom.org, and you can really just go to the tools page and scroll down and fill out that form. We want to know about it. It's going to give you a chance to get Mrs. Obama to your event, and if not, we have plenty of great surrogates and celebrities and people who we know want to be out there, and we want to give them a chance to celebrate you and your students. Of course, if you have additional questions, you should feel free to reach out to us directly. We have a new email address. It's reachhigher@civicnation.org. That's reachhigher@civicnation.org. Before we move on, I also want to just make sure folks know we do think this is more than just about high school students. It's actually a great opportunity in elementary and middle schools to realize that this is all part of a continuum of creating a college-going culture across the grade. So I will read all of these out loud. If you're looking at the program, that means you're seeing the PowerPoint presentation, but this is a chance for, if you're able to, at an assembly, to include junior classmen, both underclassmen in high school and middle and elementary school students. It's a fun way for them to see, wow, I want to keep going in school so that one day I get to be part of this signing day, and I want to be that senior who walks across stage or who gets celebrated like that. In San Antonio, where we first celebrate college signing day, they actually hold a week of events, and it culminates in that big rally, and the juniors and the seniors and the underclassmen and the elementary and middle school students see it as well. But it's a chance also to talk to younger students about college, think about a college field trip, think about a family night or college night with families, talk to students, take photos with cap and gown, do other exploration activities. I would say also for folks, if you're not able to actually get to a college, there's not a college in your community, or you can't really make a college field trip happen, there are actually some fun free resources like Google Explorations with a program called Google Cardboard. If anyone has a smartphone, you can basically do a virtual 3D visit of over 100 colleges around the country. Mrs. Obama actually did a 3D visit of Howard Community College. So you can take a look at a nursing program at Howard Community College with Mrs. Obama for free just with a smartphone. So again, I encourage you to check out Google Cardboard and Google Explorations as a way to do that as well. I'm on the next slide where you can see some other examples of how you might have a college fair, some other ways to get younger students involved. There's even a suggestion of a elementary school student book to read out loud of Mahalia Mouth Goes to College. So you can really think about fun things to do. We have some ideas here that we think would be really fun for you to do with younger students. So last but not least, where you can learn more about Reach Higher, Better Make Room. You can follow us on Twitter at Better Make Room, on Instagram at Better Make Room. You can also follow us on at Reach Higher at Instagram, at Reach Higher at Twitter, at Reach Higher 2020 at Instagram. As I mentioned, you can email us with follow-up questions at reachhigher@civicnation.org. And you can see our hashtags if you want to follow us for things happening. Hashtag Better Make Room, hashtag Reach Higher, hashtag College Signing Day. I've done this webinar a few times, and I just want to answer some questions that I think have come up in advance. And one of them is, I talked about already, which is if you have students who are not going to college, how do you handle that? How do you include them in the program? And I think, number one is, I would say it's not just about four-year colleges. It's whether it's a two-year program, a professional degree, that we should be honoring that in that school. And if you think if they're not, most of those professional degree programs are going to be at a community college, so you could have them wear that. You could have them in some way wear something that is honoring the profession they're pursuing. For students, and same thing with the military. For students who have not yet made a decision, or we're not sure if they're going to make it into post-secondary, I think it's an opportunity to coach them and to talk to them and actually have a moment to check in with them about what they intend to do, and really actually use it as an opportunity for that student to have reflection and work with the counselors or team on how they're going to create a plan that's going to think about next steps post-high school and have that moment. But in essence, really, I will again just say thank you to ASCA, the American School Counselors Association. And this is Obama's first speech to school counselors was at the ASCA annual conference in July of 2014. And I think if you talk to Mrs. Obama, she would say that that was an event that really changed her life and really plugged her into the challenges and the unique needs and the gifts that counselors provide to young people around the country. So I want to thank you all for being such great partners. It was not an accident that the final event that Mrs. Obama held at the White House was the School Counselor of the Year ceremony on January 6th, and we are so proud to celebrate with school counselors. And we're going to continue to work with all of you, and College Signing Day is just our first opportunity to do so in a large way in this post-presidency. So we're really hopeful that you'll join us in celebrating on May 5th. If you're not able to on May 5th, please still let us know. Go to bettermakeroom.org and click on tools and let us know about the event you're hosting. Follow up with us with questions at reachhigher@civicnation.org. But mostly, again, I just want to thank you for being a part of this effort, and I'm hopeful that you'll take advantage of this opportunity and join us in celebrating students around the country. So thanks for all that you do. And with that, that's all I have. So thanks again.